This is Middle Class Matt, and I am the average sports fan. I am the battle-tested weekend warrior. I am sports genius. I'm like any average fan who watches sports. I'm actually stuck in a very average fan thing right now. Football's coming to an end, so all of a sudden I'm very interested in basketball. A month ago, didn't watch a lot of basketball, to be honest. I've watched some, and basketball is the sport probably I know the best, especially when it comes to scouting. But now I'm just all ready for basketball because football is coming to a close. So I am a huge Carolina fan, which I've always admitted to. I actually try to be very objective, and I'm going to give a very objective prediction today. And that's one of the reasons I call myself the sports genius, is because my predictions are better than the guys on ESPN who are making big money, 6-7-digit salaries. And yet I'm just sitting and watching games just like anybody else is. Anyway, but Carolina's going to be playing State. I'm a big Carolina fan. The only time I'm probably not very objective as a sports analyst is when it comes to Duke. But with this State game, I'm going to be very objective. I talk to State fans, and a lot of them say, well, I really think that Carolina's got a good shot. The game is at Raleigh, and I do not see that Carolina has a very good chance to win this game. And I'm a Carolina fan, so I don't want any Carolina fans complaining. And if they win, it'll be a pleasant surprise. I'll be happy. I won't be saying, well, I made a bad pick. No. I want the Heels to win every single game from now to the end of time. But I just don't see them beating State. State just came off an embarrassing loss to Wake Forest. Motivation. They had a players-only meeting. Too much is made of these by ESPN guys. They love to talk about like it's a secret. After this game, they had a players-only meeting where they really... Come on. All that is that they're serious enough about it that they're going to, take matters in their own hands and say, look, we're going to come in here and be honest about it and talk about what's going on and not have the coaches around, refereeing. So they're in there and they're going to come out focused. That's two motivations. State last year was destroyed by Carolina 2 times. And then the third time, many State fans believe were robbed with a bad call in the ACC tournament. So State has not forgotten that. Carolina last year, Roy's probably a better coach than Godfrey is. But more importantly than that, Carolina just outclassed them. They were more talented. On the other hand, I don't know if there's any team more talented than State this year in the country, especially through the first 6. Their 6 men are incredible. And the 2 guys who haven't been getting a lot of playing time, I did some research and I saw that they're not playing their point guard and their big 7-footer. Those guys to me are good ball players. I believe his name's Tyler Lewis, the backup point guard at State, is a McDonald's All-American. Now, he's too little to play big-time college basketball as a starter. But as a backup, I think that's a good point guard. And then you have a serviceable 7-footer, and then you have Warren, who is a super freshman, averaging about 13 points a game, and if he sticks around, will be a star at State eventually. But 1 through 6, I have a hard time seeing anybody better than State. Now, State has all those motivational factors, and they're at home. Carolina, on the other hand, has been surging. But when you watch them play last game against Georgia Tech, I didn't see a team that had it all together. I see a team that's figuring it out. They're figuring it out. I don't mean that they're trying to figure it out. They are figuring it out. But UNC is not ready. I mean, they are not there running on all cylinders. They have not figured it all. It is not all in place. And with that said, State will expose that. With all the motivation, coming in, fired up, and then they're just better. Like I said, I don't think anybody's more talented than State in the country. State has incredible big men. UNC can't match up with them. Now, they're going to match up a little better than some people think because UNC's big men actually play good defense. But still, these guys wore Mason Plumlee out. They've worn other big-time players in the nation, and they've just worn them out. These 2, when they want to play, C.J. Leslie and Richard Howe, are the best 2 big men in the country playing beside each other when they want to play. Then at the point guard spot, big man, point guard, probably the two most important areas in basketball. Because basketball comes down to matchups. NBA more in college, but still they're important. Lorenzo Brown is probably one of the most underrated players in the country. He averages 13 points and 7 assists and 2 steals. He's 6'5". He is the prototypical NBA point guard. Now, do I think he's going to go and be an NBA All-Star? I'm not going that far yet. But is he exactly, physically, what the NBA looks for? Absolutely. Can anyone match up with him in the country? I'm not sure. He's that good. Kendall Marshall took it to him last year. Kendall Marshall no longer plays for the Heels. They have an inexperienced point guard. Now, Dexter Strickland may guard him, and that will cause some interesting matchups. He might be able to give him a little harder time, but then that puts a smaller guard on Scott Wood, who's maybe the best shooter in the country. So State has one of the most underrated, one of the best point guards. To me, should be a lottery pick, Lorenzo Brown. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's going to be an NBA star. I'm just saying with the current crop of players that are available, to me, he's a late lottery pick. C.J. Leslie is unstoppable. Probably no one in the nation can guard him. Richard Howe is a beast. He's a monster. Seen him in person. He's probably only 6'6", 6'7". He's not that big. I know they list him as 6'8", 6'9". I've seen him in person. But he is a monster and a man among boys. And then Scott Woods is one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the entire country. And you're going to put a little guard on him, he'll shoot right over top of him. Or you'll if you don't want to put him on him, who he actually plays more the 3, Purvis, because one of them are 2 and 3. So also Rodney Purvis, who's also 6'4" and 205 and a big-bodied guard. So you're going to put a little guard on him. Pick your poison. Whichever one you want to stick a little guard on with those two. But and Purvis is a very good freshman. And like I said, this team is 1 through 6 as good as anybody. I see them. I don't know what the odds line. I couldn't find it, but I see that it's a double digit. So if it's less than double digits, State being favored, I see State winning this by more than double digits. I see them blowing the UNC out. That doesn't mean UNC isn't a good team. Doesn't mean they're not going to figure it out. Doesn't mean they're not going to make the tournament. I think they're going to do all those things. I just think you're having a team who's in the process of getting things together against a team that's going to be looking for revenge and have all the motivational factors, just like they did when they went up against Duke and they destroyed Duke. And I would say Duke is as good, if not better, than UNC this year. Without Kelly, it's questionable, and the way they looked last game was disastrous. But anyway, I'm Middle Class Matt. Check out my Austin Rivers fight video. I just have one that I put up there edited. Check out my NFL Super Bowl predictions, and I'll see you next time.